Hey TGG fanbase, welcome back to an instructional video guide on what you should buy on pistol rounds in Valorant. These rounds can be pretty hard to know what to get, and if you mess it up, you'll ruin your eco and money for the next couple of rounds. So follow this guide and pay close attention to what you should buy in Valorant pistol rounds. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know what you think of our guide about what to purchase on your pistol rounds in Valorant. As we mentioned, you need to manage your eco and your money from the first round, so messing up the pistol round can lose you the next few rounds. If you can win every pistol round, however, you will always be 2 rounds up on the enemy, and with a high chance to win the second round in each half too. This is because you will have the money advantage. So how do you win pistol rounds? Pistol rounds set the pace for a game of Valorant. As everyone in the game is equal, you should play slow and steady. Be the tortoise. Play as a 5-stack with your team so you can trade each other when extended gunfights occur. You need to plan your economy for pistol rounds, so recognize that you start with 800 credits, which can be spent on pistols, utility, and armor. Think of these 800 credits as investments. The more you can take into the next round, the better. There are 5 pistols that you can get, unless you're playing chamber, but for the niche that he covers, we won't mention him. Your aim is to win the pistol round, half buy or force buy the second, and play the third round as a bonus round, which you are expected to lose. So what guns should you choose and purchase on the pistol round? Well, here we will cover all of them. Starting with the Classic. This gun is one of the weakest of all the pistols, unless used correctly. As this gun is free, you can use your credits to purchase abilities and armor instead, such as a Sage getting her barrier orb and 2 slow orbs. Utility, armor, and the Classic is always viable if you want to invest for future rounds. But maybe if you're playing a duelist, this isn't the best option. If you're starting on defense, this isn't a bad idea, especially if you're playing a Sentinel who wants to set up early on a site to defend it. The Classic is decent in a mid-range gunfight and can perform exceedingly well one-on-one in a close range fight with the right click, but at long range it sucks. We recommend only getting this on the attacking side if you can get up close and personal with an enemy. The Shorty is next, coming in at 150 credits. It's the cheapest gun in the game. This gun is incredible at close range, as it can one-shot an enemy without armor on. Anything outside of 10 meters, and it does nothing, however. A good tactic, and perhaps the only viable tactic during the pistol round, is to buy a Shorty, drop it, repurchase a Classic, and then if you need the Shorty, you can pick it up at any point during the round. This is good if you're about to take a close range fight, such as defending B-side on Fracture. Agents such as Jett, Reyna, and even Yoru are surprisingly good with the Shorty, however, as they can hide in a deep corner and then safely get out after getting a kill before they get traded, so think before you spend the 150 credits. Our third pistol is the Frenzy. This is great for the run and gun strategy. On the attacking side, duelists such as Jett can use this to dash onto the site and just run around spraying. This perfectly fills her role as a space maker and a distraction for your team. On defense, it isn't as good, but you can really do well if you hold an off angle. The issue it has is the low magazine capacity. This is why you should only really use this if you're playing an agent that has mobility. You don't want to find yourself having to reload in an enemy's face. For our fourth and penultimate pistol, we have the Ghost. This is our recommendation for any situation you're unsure about. Coming in at 500 credits, this is the second most expensive pistol, but you can always purchase a piece of utility with it. The investment this round is in the gun, rather than the abilities. So if you're playing an agent that doesn't particularly need their abilities in round 1, such as a Fade, Neon, or Sky, you can pick up a Ghost and get a big advantage. The fire rate and ammo capacity are both very good, and with the potential to one-shot enemies with headshots without armor, the Ghost can be one of the most lethal options for the pistol round. What's more is that it can hold its own in the second round. If you want to keep the Ghost and get heavy armor after winning the first round, you can do that and be perfectly fine. A tip we have for the Ghost is to fire slower than you think. The recoil on the gun is awful, even if the accuracy on your first shot is incredible. Counter-strafe left and right, and fire in between movements, and your Ghost gameplay will go through the roof. Our final pistol is the Sheriff. This is the Deagle of pistols in Valorant. This gun costs 800 credits, which will leave you with nothing. The trade-off is that the gun will almost always kill an enemy in 2 shots, and a headshot will put them down in 1. This includes armor, by the way. The Sheriff will give you style points and make for cool montage clips, but maybe stick with the Ghost for longer range engagements, unless you're insane with the Cowboy pistol. So how else can you prepare for pistol rounds? One of the biggest things in the pistol gunfights is your movement. We touched on counter-strafing with the Ghost earlier, but it goes deeper than that. Your main aim when taking a pistol gunfight should be to hit enemies while not getting hit. It isn't as cut and dry as later rounds are, with the first person to hit a headshot winning. There are a bunch of different strafing mechanics, but as we said, counter-strafing is the best one, so practice it. Whether you practice deathmatch, spike rush, unrated, or even the range by going left and right, practicing your counter-strafing, just make sure you practice it. A lot of professional players spend between 10 and 30 minutes in the range every time they log in to get their aim ready, and practicing counter-strafing with guns, such as the Ghost, is a big part of that. This also translates over to your rifle mechanics, with one-tap counter-strafing being a viable mechanic and technique to employ with the Vandal and Guardian, for instance. So give it a go, you won't lose out on anything. Make sure to practice at different ranges too. Whether you're killing the bots, shooting a wall, or the moving flying targets, it all helps. Another thing is to make sure you've picked the right agent for the right map. We have a bunch of guides for the best agents for every map, but you want to realize what you want from a map, agent, and gun. You don't want to be picking an agent with low mobility, buying a Frenzy or a Shorty, and then trying to hold long corridor angles, so make sure you know what you're picking. A big question we get all the time is, are light shields worth the purchase on pistol rounds? The truth is, yes and no. It depends on what agent you're playing. Light armor costs 400 credits, so you could purchase this and a barrier orb as a Sage, and stick with the classic, which is viable. Light armor adds an extra 25 HP essentially, meaning guns like the Ghost take 5 shots to the chest to kill you. Each Ghost chest shot does 30 damage for most ranges, and you will have 125 HP with light armor. If you feel as if you need the extra tankiness, which is a viable option to utilize on defense especially, you can purchase the light armor and either sacrifice a pistol purchase or purchasing abilities. You can always purchase a Shorty, light armor, and drop a classic, so you have more flexibility, but this depends on how expensive your abilities are. The best way we suggest to figure it out, if you like purchasing light armor, is to give it a go and find out. Only you will be able to recognize the situations in your games individually and make the decision, so the more experience you have, the better. Hey, that's all we have for you today. But before you go, our final tip is to make sure you don't autopilot into buying the same pistol, utility, and armor combination every game. This is a trend we see a lot with lower elo players, as they always purchase the same stuff and switch it up based on the scenario. If you're holding a close angle, maybe a Ghost or Sheriff isn't the best pickup. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of this guide for what to purchase on pistol rounds in Valorant. Hopefully you've learned a few things here, and until next time TGG family, happy gaming!